Welcome back to High Stakes, where we help you elevate your betting strategy. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated with our daily content. Looking for exclusive access to premium betting picks? Join us on Patreon. Links are available in the comments section below. Stay ahead of the game with High Stakes. Oh, look, another Notre Dame versus Georgia matchup. Because who doesn't want to watch another edition of the college football playoff, right? This time, it's the 2025 All-State Sugar Bowl, a real thriller, with the number 2 Georgia Bulldogs and number 7 Notre Dame Fighting Irish squaring off. Now let's add some drama, shall we? Georgia, of course, comes in without their star QB Carson Beck, who's chilling with a UCL injury. Enter Gunner Stockton, the backup who's about to get all the spotlight. Will he live up to the hype? Spoiler, probably. Notre Dame's riding high after a dominant win over Indiana, which was a total roller coaster, considering the Hoosiers tried to sneak up on them late. But hey, let's ignore that little hiccup. Now, the Irish have to go up against Georgia, who, fun fact, is 3-0 in the series. The Bulldogs probably want to keep that streak alive, but good luck without Beck, right? Let's talk about Riley Leonard, Notre Dame's QB who was looking pretty meh early on, but hey, he's turning it around now with a 72% completion rate and 8 touchdowns in the last 4 games. So, what's his secret? Probably just ignoring how bad the passing game was earlier and relying on his legs and a solid rushing attack. But sure, let's call it momentum. Meanwhile, Georgia's defense, still strong but not exactly the wall they used to be, will have a field day with Leonard. They've been exposed by mobile QBs like Jalen Milroe and Haynes King, so Leonard might get to show off his elite scrambling skills. And hey, don't forget about the Georgia offense. Without Beck, they're somehow still trying to function. Gunner Stockton is trying to channel his inner Stetson Bennett, or maybe just the energy of his head coach, Kirby Smart, but it's hard to fill some big shoes, especially with a makeshift offensive line. At the end of the day, the Fighting Irish might just outsmart the Bulldogs. Prediction? Notre Dame covers the minus 1.5 point spread. Their defense is top-notch, and with Georgia's offense under Stockton, they'll likely struggle to score. Oh, and just for fun, under 44.5 points. Because, a whole lot of drama, just not a lot of scoring. Total passing yards for Riley Leonard, Notre Dame. Over under 225.5 yards. Pick under. Notre Dame's game plan will likely emphasize controlling the clock and using a heavy run game, so Leonard's passing volume may be limited. Although Riley Leonard has improved in recent games, his passing yards are expected to stay below 225.5, as Georgia's defense, while not as dominant as in previous seasons, still knows how to limit a QB when the focus is on the ground game. With a relatively stable rushing attack from Notre Dame, expect Leonard to manage the game with short, efficient passes, keeping his total under the line. Total rushing yards for Jeremiyah, Notre Dame. Over, under 90.5 yards. Pick, over. Why? Notre Dame's rushing attack will be the focal point of their offense in this game. With Georgia's defense showing some vulnerabilities this season, especially in their interior defensive line, Jeremiyah has an excellent chance to eclipse 90.5 yards. Love has been a key figure in moving the ball on the ground when the passing game struggles, and this game will likely be no different. Georgia's defensive line has had difficulty with powerful, downhill runners, and Love should see plenty of opportunities to rack up yards in a run-heavy game plan. Notre Dame will likely feed him the ball to control the tempo and manage the clock, so expect him to go over this number. Total points for Notre Dame, over, under 24.5. Pick, over. Why? Notre Dame is one of the best defenses in the nation, and while Georgia will likely make life difficult for the Fighting Irish, their offense has been efficient, particularly in games with a balanced attack. Notre Dame's defense will likely create good field position and give their offense short field opportunities. With a controlled, methodical game plan that keeps the ball away from Georgia's offense, Notre Dame should manage at least 25 points. Their ability to get into the red zone and convert with a solid kicker also plays into their favor for a total over 24.5 points. Expect a couple of big drives to push them over this total. Total points for Georgia, over, under 19.5. Pick under. Why? Without their star QB, Georgia is going to have a hard time putting up points against the stout Notre Dame defense. Gunner Stockton may not be able to produce enough offense to break through Notre Dame's defensive line, and with the Bulldogs' makeshift offensive line, they will likely struggle to sustain drives. Additionally, Georgia's offensive line will face a tough test, and the lack of a reliable QB may limit their scoring potential. Given the defense's strong performance against mobile quarterbacks, it's difficult to see Georgia surpassing 19 points in this matchup. First half total points, over, under 21.5. Pick under. Why? Both teams will likely start slow as they feel each other out. Georgia will try to establish their run game with a backup QB and avoid risky plays, while Notre Dame will likely keep it conservative with a focus on the ground game. The first half will be a defensive struggle, with both teams likely to have a few stalled drives. The under 21.5 total points is appealing here, especially with both offenses taking time to establish their rhythm. Expect more clock-eating runs than explosive plays, keeping the score down. Total sacks for Georgia defense, over, under 2.5. Pick, over. Why? Notre Dame's offensive line may face its toughest test of the season against a Georgia defense still loaded with talent. Even without Beck, Leonard's mobility will help, but the Georgia front seven is one of the most disruptive in the country. They'll apply constant pressure, and while Leonard can escape the pocket, his tendency to hold onto the ball too long at times could lead to multiple sacks. With the Bulldogs bringing extra pressure and Leonard scrambling, it's likely Georgia will notch at least 3 sacks, making the over 2.5 a solid pick. Total touchdowns for Stockton, Georgia, over, under 1.5. Pick, under. Why? It's hard to see Stockton throwing for 2 touchdowns in a game like this, especially against a well-coached Notre Dame defense. While Georgia will try to establish a run-heavy offense, Notre Dame's defensive line is solid, and their secondary will make it difficult for Stockton to find the end zone through the air. Expect the offense to struggle to get into the red zone, and when they do, Georgia may settle for field goals. Gunner will likely be limited to 1 or fewer touchdowns in this game, making the under 1.5 a smart choice. Total turnovers, over, under 2.5. Pick, over. Why? With both teams relying on inexperienced or backup quarterbacks, turnovers are likely to be an issue in this game. Stockton will make mistakes under pressure, and Leonard isn't immune either, especially considering Georgia's aggressive defense. Both quarterbacks will face tough defensive fronts, and the pressure could lead to at least 3 turnovers combined. With both teams forced into high-stress situations, expect the turnover total to go over 2.5. And that's a wrap on today's video, folks. I'm sure you're absolutely on the edge of your seat, eagerly awaiting the next thrilling installment of this channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because clearly you don't want to miss any of our daily videos. I mean, who could live without them? And while you're at it, smash that notification bell, so you can be the first to know when we drop more gems like this. Oh, and if you're looking for some premium picks, because, let's be honest, who isn't? Join our Patreon. It's where the real magic happens. Premium picks, insider info, and possibly even some mildly entertaining banter. So, hit that link, and we'll see you on the inside. Until next time, enjoy the game, make those bets, and remember, you're welcome.